What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of 100 Yards Football Sports Talk Radio. I'll be your host and producer this afternoon, Logan Landers. And joining me once again this week to talk about NFL draft prospect tight end out of Vanderbilt, representing the Commodores, Eli Stowers, the one and only, the founder here of the show and of this network, Mr. Football himself, Vincent Turner. Vincent, how you doing this chilly Thursday afternoon here in the state of Georgia?
Hey, I'm doing outstanding, my brother. Hey, it's always nice. We talking NFL draft prospects. We got the 2026 NFL draft coming up in April, and we got the national championship football game. The University of Miami taking on the Indiana Hoosiers. Couldn't be a better day in football. And let me say something else in the NFL playoffs. How can I forget that? Back to you, Mr. Landers.
Ton of great football content. Of course, wrapping up all the in-game stuff here pretty soon. As you mentioned, college will be wrapping up here this week, and NFL is on the road to the playoffs. Just got done with the wild card round, moving on to the divisionals as we speak, and football still barreling straight ahead. And of course, as soon as all that's over, we got the draft, and we're lining up right here on the show today. Eli Stowers, tight end out of Vanderbilt. But before we talk more about him, what we like about him, and where, how we think he can do in the NFL. If you enjoy the show, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We're live here on the channel, of course, each and every single week, not just talking about draft prospects, reviewing games, previewing upcoming games, of course, tremendous interviews with all people walking all facets of life, whether you're a former player, former coach, if you're a broadcaster, anyone involved within, football or any main sport, or even if you're not even a sport guy, if you're just interesting out there, if you go to a school, you got school pride, we talk with you, we interview you, we learn more about you. That's what we do here on the channel. We learn, we educate, and we communicate in a very effective manner, and that's what we're going to do here once again. So, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let's get into it. Vincent, let's talk about Eli Stowers, tight end out of Vanderbilt. We know the Commodores had a very interesting season, I think, to say the least. Of course, we know that the main man behind center, Diego Pavia, got a lot of the national attention, national headlines, being a finalist for the Heisman Trophy. Had a tremendous season, and this was one of his favorite targets, no doubt about that. You see Eli Stowers here, tight end out of Vanderbilt. What do you like about this young man? I know you are a Tennessee native, and I know you're a big Volunteers fan, but gotta respect the Commodores this year. They put up a hell of a season.
I want to say this. First of all, I respect the Clark Lee and the University of Vanderbilt football program. What you've done in 2 years with Diego Pavia has been outstanding. And I would never, in my 65 years, ever thought that Vanderbilt would be at this level from a football standpoint. They had an excellent season the last 2 years. And the reasons because even though Diego got out of publicity, Mr. Stowers played a big part of that. 6'4", 235, out of the state of Texas. Matter of fact, out of Denton, Texas, which is 40 miles from downtown Dallas. Went to John Geyer High School. Was a quarterback. Went to Texas A&M. Highly recruited. Things didn't work out. Then he got over to New Mexico State. That's where he met Diego. And then he decided, I'm going to change positions because Diego, I see, is a better football player than I'm a quarterback position. And you saw what happened with Mr. Stowers. This year in the SEC, 62 receptions, 769 yards, 4 touchdowns. But what I like about him, Logan, matter of fact, what I love about him, yards after catch. He averaged almost 9 to 10 yards after the catch. That means he can evade contact. He can do a lot of things with that ball in his hands. Most of all, if you think I'm telling a story, go look at the game film versus Texas. 7 receptions for 146 yards. He was the best player on the field that day. First team All SEC, John Mackey Award winner. What I want to say, high end athlete, fluent. The young man got strong hands, playmaker at the highest level at the tight end position, and he's going to be the quarterback's best friend. And if I want to say my final words about Mr. Stowers, Brock Bowers too. Remember him, Logan? The
Oh yeah.
Dogs, right now doing his thing for your team, the the Las Vegas Raiders. Let me slow down. And he got a little bit of Trey McBride in him, Colorado State by way of the Arizona Cardinals. Another outstanding tight end that made All Pro. Back to you, Mr. Landers.
Yeah, what I like about Mrs. Stowers here is the thing too, like you mentioned, he started off. He was recruited, and he's a four-star quarterback, so he could sling the rock as we know in high school. Very highly recruited, obviously going putting some good work out there before decided to transfer over. Say, you know what, like I said, let's step back here. Let's switch my role up a little bit, and let's become a tight end. And he did this seamlessly. I mean, he didn't. There was no missed beats. He transitioned into the new role and very quickly, very effectively took the nation by storm. As you said, I mean, he's really still, in a way, kind of learning the position. And he's already, like you mentioned, in 24, a semifinalist for the Mackey Award. We know Harold Fannin Jr., did some good work there. And now we know this year he finally took home the trophy. Now, I think in the league, he's, like I say, he's a quarterback's dream because he's so versatile. He has great athleticism. He's got soft hands. You see the catch here on the screen if you're watching us, Facebook, YouTube. And the thing, too, is that since he does have that sense of ability and vision being a former quarterback, that tells me, Vincent, he's able to read defenses. That he's able to read those defenses maybe a little bit better than some other tight ends in the league or wide receivers because he was back there. He's analyzing defenses. He can tell certain coverages. He can tell if a guy's blitzing or not. And that is where he can really just kind of pick apart defenses. He's got tremendous vertical leap. I mean, jump through the gym type of athleticism. His hands are reliable. You don't see him dropping many passes at all. He's not afraid to go after it and dive for the catch, fight for those yards after the catch, like you mentioned. And, I mean, he, like I said, he puts his head down, he goes to work, and he's going to be a guy who, whenever he gets drafted for whatever team, like you mentioned a couple other guys with Trey McBride, Brock Bowers, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he's kind of that next class of young emerging tight ends because his game looks so good at D1 schools, right? He's not coming out of a little known school. But he's coming from kind of the cream of the crop with Vanderbilt, who had a tremendous kind of 2-season turnaround. They beat a lot of really good ranked opponents, and Eli showed out in all of them. I mean, he was always on the field. His stats might not represent it every single game, but if you're a linebacker, you're a corner on him, it's going to be a long day at work. You're going to have to bring an extra pail for lunch because he's going to be going for it, man. And it's impressive watching this young man play. Like I say, he's built great. He doesn't need to. I mean, he looks in tremendous shape. I'm excited to see what his combine numbers are going to put up because I know he's probably going to look great there. And that's just, I think, even more so going to skyrocket his draft projection. If people say he's a second rounder, that might bump him up to late first because we know also with all the draft stuff going on with guys saying, all right, we'll run it back one more year in college or fighting for another spot. That opens up a window for Eli Stowers to really make a jump potentially in this year's draft. But I love watching this dude play. He really came on the scene and was a crucial part of why Vanderbilt has looked as good as they have the last 2 years and why they, were vying for Heisman trophies, why they were vying for the college football playoffs. And that's because of this guy right here. You see number 9 on the screen. Vincent, let's get your final thoughts here. Eli Stowers, big tight end out of Vanderbilt.
Mr. Eli Stowers, 39-inch vertical, freakazoid, midnight star. This gentleman is going to be a hell of a football player at the next level, and he's going to be productive. And I can see him playing a little H-back and getting his production up. Fantastic football player, Vanderbilt University to 615. Back to you, Mr. Landers.
Hey, Vince, we just saw in the playoffs, the NFL playoffs, Jawan Jennings throw a touchdown. I very well could see Eli Stowers lining up in the slot, doing a little motion play and tossing the rock for a touchdown or two in the league. Because I know he's still got that arm talent. So that could be coming to your team here soon if you decide to draft him in the very near future. But, I mean, we've heard it here on the show. We both think that sky's the limit for this young man and that he's got high potential. And like I said, you don't hear a bad word out of him. You hear he just goes to work every day. And that's what you want in your locker room. You want the guy who's probably end up going to have a C on his chest in the next few years. So I'm excited to see where this young man goes. If you guys enjoy the episode, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Of course, we go live here on the channel each and every single week. For the founder of the show, Mr. Football himself, Vincent Turner, thank you as always for chopping it up, talking about Eli Stowers, tight end out of Vanderbilt. I've been your host and producer, Logan Landers. Guys, stay tuned because we have some more great NFL draft prospect episodes coming